We're in the winter of 1725. This is my Empire Total War Grand Campaign, United Provinces. Cry, get my teeth together. The Grand Campaign is fought for the full 100 years or 99 years. Somebody pointed out to me recently in the comments that if you end it right in the final year, you can carry on into the 1800s. That did surprise me. That I haven't seen that before. I might try it though, just to see what happens. I know for certain we won't get any new troops though, which is rather a shame. It would be nice to get some 18th century troops, wouldn't it? Okay, we're over in the Americas. Have I said everything I need to say? 104, isn't it, video? Perhaps 104. I tend to try and say that if I can, so that people know roughly where we're up to. So anybody that comes across it suddenly will realise that there's a heck of a lot of videos going on before this. Okay, an auto-resolved battle there. These are the troops that were in Guatemala, that fought off the Guatemalans. They were part of the original force invading Mexico. They've not only defeated a Spanish invasion force bigger than themselves in Guatemala, but they've beaten them from their own territory as well, therefore clearing them of any clearing the territory rather of brigands, I suppose, really, people that can go around damaging the buildings there in Guatemala. Guatemala and Mexico were important to us because we can make some cash out of them, so they're fairly well settled as well now, those places. Panama's important because it's a very narrow stretch of land, and if you occupy that piece of land you stop things getting past you. Now, up until now I've had the command of the seas, so it's been really good, but unfortunately the Spanish are now putting out some big fleets, and I can't match them, so I'm having to go over land. I just have to hope the Spanish don't do any amphibious landings onto any of my land areas that are very close to the coastline in the Americas. But here we are over in Europe again. I've now got the occasional spy. I'm failing dreadfully with these spies at the moment. I'm trying to kill, in particular, his priest over in the north of Europe, and every time I do it I lose a spy or an assassin, whatever you want to call him. He's an agent, basically, so he can do both. Right. If you remember, we took Portugal. It's one of those that was done at a turn end, and so unfortunately it crossed videos and didn't get included because it was at the part where I'd cut out the turn end. I keep calling it term end. Okay, that was the university that we destroyed last time. Once it's destroyed, you can then construct another building. I'm constructing a Protestant church, of course. Helps eventually to settle the population. Plus it gives me Protestant ministers that I can pile up there in the north of Europe to compete with his, that are continually trying to stabilise, I should say, Roman Catholicism, because they've still got it up there. They're not trying to bring it in, they're just trying to keep it up there. I don't want it there because it means my population are more restless, harder to settle. Okay, this is the army that came from France. It's a bit like a Grand Old Duke of York, this army. It's going around, it's gone up, and now it's coming down. You wondered whether it should actually stay in Paris or not. I've decided now that Spain seems so weak in the south in terms of land forces that I'm going to go for it. I'm going to see if I can take out other areas. We've taken Portugal, we've taken Madrid. Let's go the whole hog and go all the way down. Yeah, I've noticed he's got some large forces at sea. So I'm wondering if the Spanish have invested more in their navy than they have in their army, which means that my decision to go for a land campaign has been a good one. Or should I say a lucky one. You saw the grey on the overall taxation map there. That means they're taken out of taxation. I'm not taxing them. Yellow means they're okay. Green means they're good. You want to try and get things in the green if you can, with the maximum amount of money coming from them. You remember Austria have taken Hanover, so they've removed one of my allies. Not good news for me. I'm going to try and make friends with people. So I'm trying to make friends with Wurttemburg. They're always attacking me, Wurttemberg, forcing me to have soldiers there in Alsace-Lorraine, and also forcing me to continually either reinforce them or to replenish their numbers. They want Guatemala from me. If they think I'm going to give them Guatemala for peace, they can go and jump, I'm afraid. I'm trying to give them anything that I can. I'll go for technology, I'm give them a bit of money, and a bit is all I've got. They're not having it. So. This is just me taking a possible opportunity, thinking, well, I've lost one ally, maybe I can gain another one. They're not having it, are they? Well, I'm feeling Austria is going to become aggressive towards me now. They're right on my border. I no longer have that buffer, the Hanoverians, holding them back. The Westphalians have been very, very neutral, sitting there doing nothing at all. One of the reasons for wanting peace with the Wurttemburgers is so that I can have an alliance with Austria. While ever I'm at war with one of Austria's allies, they won't ally to me, I'm afraid. I would ally with Prussia, except that they seem to get a battering very early on. If you remember, I was stealing very much in the early days, research from them, and then suddenly they changed over to, the university belonged to Austria, and they didn't have anything like the same kind of military technology. That set me back a bit, that really. Anyhow, as far as I'm concerned, the Prussians still haven't got Berlin back. They don't seem strong enough, really, for me to have them as an ally. They might just drag me into something I don't want to be involved in. Checking around as usual, checking what's around Ceylon. Is there anything threatening me? Can I see anything along those, those lightened trade routes there that might indicate that the Marathas are building something, either to attack me with or to send over to the Americas? I notice they've got quite a large fleet in there, so I don't suspect that they're sending another fleet over to the Americas. Now, somebody asked me recently, what have we got in terms of trade ships? So I thought I'd come over and just show you. It's the Dutch East Indies. What I'm also doing, by the way, is looking around the Dutch East Indies there to see the lines back into the trade routes. You'll always see there's a dotted line of a trade route going through, with other dotted lines coming off. It's a tip for you. That tells you where the ships are, enemy ships are, trading from in that theatre. So you can decide where you want to go or take or move into one that's empty. Sometimes you'll try and move into one and there's somebody on it and you'll end up with a fight that you don't really want. If you just go to that middle line there, I know it's gone now because we're moving on and we're going to the turn end, there we go again. I think term end must be something that I particularly like, something to do with either university or school or something like that, I don't know. Rather like the idea of it coming to an end, but so I keep falling into that one, I'm afraid. But anyway, it's a turn end, and I'm just going through the principal nations as usual. I've had the British, I've had the Austrians, now we're having the Spanish. They hardly seem to be doing anything, do they, the Spanish, at all? Well, whether it's just that I can't see it because they're off my beaten track, if you like, my trade routes, I really don't know. He's moving his gentlemen up to my universities as much as he can, up to my school in Amsterdam. For obvious reasons, he wants to still research. Loads of people are going in and out of my university at the moment trying to do that. That's a good indication that you're ahead of other people. What I don't want is them to catch up with me. I don't want them to have the long reach of their infantry regiments. I don't want them to have the, that's cadence marching. I don't want to have the firing by rank in particular. I want that advantage for as long as I can keep it for. And here come the Wurttemburgers all over again. Now I've now got HD. I've had it for a while now and I've been trying to use it, but it's caused me terrible problems. The files are far too big and I can't get them on there. I'm going to do this one on HQ, high quality, but I'm going to have another try. I'll probably fail again, I'm afraid. I've spent hours and hours trying to do this on the next one, and I'm going to show you this battle. I know you've seen these before. These are the Scots, by the way, that we've moved into all the way up, from Amsterdam. They've come via Flanders, and with the cadence marching they've been able to march straight in instead of stick outside and come on as reinforcements, as has happened before. I've placed them in strategic places. He's got a lot of cavalry, he's got reinforcements coming on, so I've put only my poorer quality Phylocarn citizenry on the walls, just in case their artillery blows them up, and I've placed chevaux de frise in front of all my infantry regiments where I want them to be, and moved my Scots to the back there. I use those as an infantry backup, as a close combat backup. Look, the walls are already suffering.